taking pics with the click.
Hello, we got Skypp on board today. We're interviewing him about his new album, The Ghetto, Mr. Rogerz, right here on Moonshine and Music.
No, you ain't making no pops. You ain't making no pops. Turn it up, what you waiting on?
This is Moonshine and Music with Joe Shelton. Wait a minute, that's me. Anyway, we're going to bring you some inspiring songwriters, musicians, and maybe some side challenges and other stuff around the music industry. So stick with us right now, because the show is coming your way. Woo! Moonshine and Music starts right now. Well, welcome to Moonshine and Music. We are here today with Skypp, who has launched a brand new record today called The Ghetto, Mr. Rogerz. Hi, Skypp. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How you doing? Good to be here with you.
Yeah. I hear it's a busy day.
Absolutely, man. Just riding around the city, hanging posters at establishments and, getting rid of CDs and just mingling with people, trying to push the album to a different level. You know what I mean? Groundwork is what I call it.
Well, I mean, that's your reputation is one who works really hard. And I think that's for an independent musician, if you don't work hard, you ain't working. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the hardest job, man. Like, we have it much harder than major artists. They have machines behind them. They have promo teams. They have the whole thing just set for them. All they have to do is be artists. As an independent artist, you may not have every part of a team. You might have to do like 5 things by yourself: promotions, investing, marketing. It may have to be your job to do that amongst being an artist, which is not easy at all, man. So it's definitely a grind for sure.
The new record, it feels a little different than your previous records. I'm a fan and not just a host. And I feel like there's a little tone difference here. I feel like the mix up of instrumentation is a little bit different.
Yeah.
The way that everything's put together, it's kind of a little different. Can you tell us about what you were going for, what the album, how it made you feel, what's the vibe here, what's going on?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've grown a reputation as a hip hop artist who is different, musical. My music is very musical. I bring live instruments into the studio just to bring that feel. I'm known for that. You know what I mean? But I just met with a guy and he was like, "Hey, I want to do an album for you. And I just want you to have fun, man. I don't want you to have to be so, overcritical about things and think too deeply. Just have fun with it." And I'm like, okay, well, let's do that. And they gave me the platform to where I didn't have to, because usually I record myself, I do all the arrangements by myself, but they made it to where I didn't have to do anything but just write music and record, just write lyrics and record, man, which took such a burden off my shoulders, man. And it allowed me to actually have fun, and they were always sure to tell me like, hey, don't overthink it. If you don't like it, let's just move to the next record. So I met these guys, DJ Shiny D and Jason Bain, man, very dope individuals. I met these guys and they're like, hey, let's just do as many songs as we can, So in a span of a month and a half, we did 35 songs, and we just, we went through, and that's what happens when all I got to do is write lyrics. That's what I do, man. So we did that, man, and we picked the best 16 songs, and we had a project, but slowly but surely we started taking certain songs out that just didn't fit the overall vibe of the album. But overall, we just wanted it to be a fun roller coaster. I'm very deep most of the time, and my albums they're always roller coasters, but sometimes it's critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? This one is not so critical, but it's still a roller coaster. It's a more relatable roller coaster to the masses, which is where songs like My Rhyme and Reason come in. Underchamp, songs like that. Those are songs that anybody in the entire world can relate to. You know what I mean? And that's what I did with this album. Have fun, make it more relatable, make it more modern, more amongst what's going on in today's hip hop, but still a flavor of Skypp. That was long-winded, but yeah.
No, that's great. You brought up one of the songs I wanted to talk about, which was Underchamp.
Champion mentality, underdog reality, but fuck it though, I'm proud of me. My own family doubted me. Champion mentality, underdog reality, getting everything I deserve. Spin the block, ride through and swerve. All I got is balls in my word, so I'm getting everything I deserve. Getting everything I deserve. Spin the block, ride through and swerve. All I got is balls in my word, so I'm getting everything I deserve. Yeah. If anybody got it, I know I do. Everything they said I can't accomplish, being honest, there ain't nobody who got you like I got you. Not at all. Even when the loyalty ain't reciprocated, I'm faded off the light skin, mix it with the dark. Don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm speaking from the heart. Cuddy said his baby mama left him for a mark. Domestic violence case, he done left another mark. Reality so harsh, my mentality is beat it. Where the hell is all that drug money when I need it? If the love ain't genuine.
I think, as you said, it's really relatable. I really thought it was catchy as well. And not just, sometimes the song's really relatable and everything, but it doesn't have that, that snap, that's something that just like sticks in your head and won't go away.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and that one's got it. And, does the vibe of the lyrics that you got there, does that come from being an independent artist and having to fight for everything?
Absolutely, man. 100%. Like I said, I have a champion mentality. Like in my head, I'm like, I can do all of this. I know it's possible. Some of my favorite artists come from the exact same struggles I come from. They made it happen. So my mentality is I can do this. It's already done in my head. I'm just working to get to where I'm already at mentally. But in reality, I'm the underdog. Like nobody's looking for me outside of Indianapolis and Indiana, which isn't true. But just like in my reality, that's how I feel. Like I always have something to prove, which is what makes me an underdog, even in my own right. But that's exactly where it stems from, man. Just being independent is what it all comes down to, because I'm not up here with the major artists, but I'm not all the way down there either, And I feel like I'm very successful already, even though I haven't reached nearly where I want to be. I've done enough to be grateful for. So I'm a champion, but I'm also an underdog.
Yeah, that's really cool. Another thing I noticed that, there were a lot of songs with explicit lyrics. And I don't think that's usually something that you do. And right off from the start, A Beautiful Day is A Beautiful Day in the Trenches is a very interesting song to me. Can you talk a little bit? It feels like this one's about the world right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The explicit lyrics are there. Like I said, they wanted me to just let my hair down and have fun. And I tried to do it to where it wasn't too explicit. Like, I didn't drop any N-bombs, or I didn't, drop any B words. Like, that's too much, in my opinion. But I said just enough with enough emotion to where you wouldn't be bothered by it, but it'll make you feel it emotionally, And like the intro, as you said, is like, that may be my favorite song, man. It's just like a walk in my shoes.
Welcome. Come on in, kick off your shoes. It's a beautiful day in the trenches. Loud bows and prescriptions. They banging my line. I'm doing fine. Can't be a murder victim or a witness. Give my lady hugs and kisses. She begging for time, but I'm on the grind. Yeah. Mr. Rogerz in my neighborhood giving game. I ain't no angel, but I ain't no demon neither. Neither one of them is what I claim. I don't wanna see nobody get slain, but I'm knowing this is part of the game. Mascara couldn't cover the pain, but I ain't got one blemish on my name. I'ma do good by you, ain't no ill will. They be fake as hell, but they feel real. I ain't no better, but I know better. That's a trademark, that the real feel. You can buy a bum, all the clothes, shoes, food, everything. They gon' steal. I'ma hit the gas on the road to riches. All I need from you is hold the wheel still. I'm the real deal.
Like, if you just listen to it, it like dives into my mentality. It dives into my upbringing. It dives into like just me as a person. Yes, I'm from like the worst of worst places, but I've never let it turn me into anything like I shouldn't, something I would be ashamed of. I've always maintained my moral, compass, and always made sure I was a good person at heart, regardless of my environment. So that's why I call myself the Ghetto Mr. Rogerz, because everybody looks at me like I'm some saint. I wish I were. I am not a saint, but since you say that, I can compare myself to the Ghetto Mr. Rogerz. Everybody calls me for advice, positivity, and it's been times where I may prank out and do something that I regret. You know, I'm human, and you know, sometimes I stress out over, you know, certain things, but at the end of the day, man, my heart is pure, my intentions are good, and people notice that, you know, and people, they feed off of that, man. And there's been times I try to like disown that, you know what I mean? Like in a world where everybody is so tough, like sometimes you get caught up in that and you're like, hey, I'm tough too. But some, you know, majority of the time I try to grasp the good heartedness in me, man, and not try to feed into today's gangster mentality, man. And that's really a struggle I go through every day, honestly.
Well, you know, I haven't talked to you since since the pandemic hit, and you know, how has that affected you and your family and the people around you? I mean, you know, not just from the musical standpoint, but you know, in general, I think it's something people be interested in. You know, we talked a little bit about it here on the show the last few episodes where we've been, you know, stuck in a Zoom camera and all
Yeah.
those things. But you know, how has it been affecting you?
Um, Personally, in my own personal life, man, I've done nothing but thrive through this, which is very interesting. I've just been thriving, man. When it first started, I started a freestyle series called Quarantine 16s, which really like got my fan base up. Like I doubled my fan base during that time, man, which is crazy. And you know, like I haven't really missed a beat, man. If anything, I've grown. And now this album, you know, being top 15 on the iTunes charts, man, like I'm reaching milestones every day. And I mean, I've lost a great cousin. I've lost a great auntie. You know what I'm saying? They were older. You know, the virus is taking the lives of people who are, you know, like all people, honestly, but mainly the older people. You know what I mean? So I've lost like 2 or 3 family members from it. And RIP to them, and my condolences to anybody who's lost anyone to this virus. But in my personal life, not trying to downplay that, but in my personal life, man, I've been blessed, honestly, since this started. I've had an artist all the time, without, you know, not having to go to work and stuff like that. And it's been a relief, man, because life was stressful before the pandemic started. And I hate to be thriving in such a bad time in the world, man, but I can't say that I'm not, you know what I mean? It's just what it is.
You know, that is now, you know, the other thing that's happened recently, you know, is, you know, awful. And it's caused a lot of people to be out in the streets protesting,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. We've been very supportive of the movement here on the show, which is Black Lives Matter. And you know, I want to know your take on the whole thing and what you think will change from it, and what you hope will. I know what I hope will change, that everybody will be equal. Uh,
Yeah.
but I don't know. You know, if I have I don't know if I have that kind of I don't know, faith in everything just
Yeah.
happening. You know,
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts?
I was very vocal, man. During that, I released one of my quarantine 16s was dedicated to that, and I also, you know, released some footage, basically, or you know, a snippet of a record that didn't make the album, but it was recorded during the time of the album creation, and it was a song about that also. So I was very vocal, and I feel like this has been going on for far before my time. Riots and all that stuff. Like this isn't anything new. Like it's been riots already over like race wars. It's very unfortunate, man, and it breaks my heart. If you listen to the music I release concerning the matter, man, it really breaks my heart because like it just doesn't make much sense to a person like me why it has to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, like it really frustrated me because I couldn't understand how a person could be like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against anything that's happened. I'm not against any of it because it's hard to try to combat violence with peace because like they're just going to keep stepping on you. So when I saw people protesting and you know the riots, well, we call it the uprising. I don't really call them riots, but I wasn't mad at it because we weren't killing people. We weren't harming, you know, people. Like yes, some businesses and establishments got, you know, it is what it is. But we need change. And once we've done so much to try to make that change and it gets ignored, it gets laughed at, it gets stepped on, you got to expect frustration. You got to expect something. You know what I mean? And this is not the first time. Like I said, this is nothing new. It didn't change anything today when they did it back then. So I don't know if if this is our time or not. But I feel like the pressure should remain applied, and I'm just praying and hoping that someday all of this will come to an end, man, and we will all just be humans. Color won't exist. I mean, it's going to exist, but, you know, mentally, like, we don't look at someone and try to judge them based off of that, man. And it goes both ways. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. The hate has grown on each demographic, each ethnicity. It grows on everyone, all because of the past. So I'm praying for change, man. I hope for it. I know it's not much that I can do, but I do what I can. I try not to speak on it as much because it's like a very sensitive topic. But yeah, just know that I am totally for anything that needs to happen. I don't really care the degree of whatever. I don't care. I think anything is necessary to get this over with, to be honest.
You know, I am one who feels like we need to have some sort of progress. You know, we can't expect miracles and to change everybody's mind overnight, but hopefully enough people's minds will get changed that things will get better each day. And that's what I want. You know, I never thought it was right in the past, and, you know, I'm a little older than you, and and I don't think it's right now. And you know, police have to be, you know, they have to do what they have to do when people are committing crimes, but they don't have to be murderers. You know, they don't have to be, you know, unnecessarily brutal, and that has to stop. You know,
absolutely, because I'm definitely not against, you know, them doing their job. That's what they're here for. But some things just aren't a part of your job description. Some feelings and personal beliefs are not supposed to come into the workplace because it can affect other people, and clearly in very bad ways. So coming into the streets, you know what you're doing, you know the possible consequences. So being locked up for a crime you commit is not something that we're against because we know the possible outcome. But being murdered is never, by the police, is never like a thought. It is now, and it, you know, it is, okay, it is, but you don't think that that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You think, okay, I'm getting pulled over. I may have this in the car. I might go to jail. Let me call my girlfriend. Let me call my mom. Let them know what's going on. But you don't ever think like, okay, I'm getting pulled over. I'm about to die. Until it happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very tragic reality and a very tragic thought process. And it sucks, man. It really sucks. And it makes no sense to me, honestly.
So, you know, back to the music just a little bit. I know, you know, the you got 16 tracks on here. And if you're going to pick out like the track that you would say, hey, this song is the unsung hero, the one that like people aren't going to notice, but I think is really badass. Which one is that? What's that song?
I would probably have to go with Cue It Up DJ.
Okay.
I would have to go with Cue It Up DJ.
I kind of like how that one kicks in. I was listening to them earlier. I like the how that one kicks in, and the one right after it, Good at It. With the horns.
Now that's a bop. Yeah.
like
that's
you
a bop.
You got those like down in the middle, like, you know, and that's what I'm talking about, that sneaky, like, you know, get down in the middle and you find this sneaky good song, you know.
Top speed. Cue it up for me. Cue it up, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Play my song. Cue it up, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Play my song. Double shot, no chase. It won't take too long. Look like my type. Don't take that wrong. Baby told me I'm a dog, so I lay that bone. Started from the bottom of the bottom, but I gotta put the whole state on. Never had a bando. Stop shop on wheels. Heart cold like ice. I don't got no feels. I don't pop no pills. But to turn up real. If I get her for the night, she gon' learn new skills. I'm here for a good time, good vibes. Don't be lame.
And so what about queued up DJ like really makes you get up in the morning? What's the
It's just the overall vibe, man. Like the instrumental track is like crazy first and foremost. Like the bass hits perfectly. The infectious melody. I don't know what kind of instrument it is, but it's just very infectious. It's very bright and it stands alone. You don't need anything over it or under it. And just the infectious hook and the flow of the verses. Like I think all together, and DJ Top Speed doing what he does best. Like that whole thing for me personally, it just makes it like an amazing record. And I knew going into it that not everyone would relate because it's like you'd have to be a DJ or a hip hop head to love it. But I love it, man. I think it has a little bit of club in it. I think it has a little bit of trap rap in it. I think it has a little bit of pop in it. And then you got your roots, your grassroots with the DJs, the cuts, and Top Speed is doing his thing, man. Hey, I think that record is, in my opinion, when I made it, it was undeniable. But over time, I started looking at it from different perspectives. And I'm like, not everyone will like it or get it, but it's still a great record nonetheless.
Well, I mean, that's one of the cool things about the entire album. In the past, you did different kinds of instruments, but in this one, I just feel like there's some little piece for everybody in here.
Sure.
Like not just on any one track, but you flip down through different tracks and they have different vibes and different feels and different. It's more mixed up kinds of genre bending than I've seen you do before. I mean, you've been pretty much straight up hip hop. This stuff, it's got a little bit of jazzy fuse into some of them. Some of them got a little bit of, like you said, a little bit just straight up pop, like rolled into it.
True.
And, I think that's a very cool. I like to see that you're, just kind of expanding.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to show the versatility, man.
Yeah, and I think if people can't find a way to dance to some of these tracks, they're not trying.
I heard that.
So that's a good thing too, man. It's not just all about being able to rap the lyrics. Sometimes it's got to be about dancing, right?
Yeah, entertaining for sure.
Yeah. And so I appreciate you coming on the show again and talking about the album today. It's called The Ghetto Mr. Rogerz. I hope everybody picks up a copy. Go out to iTunes and download it. Skypp is trying to get like on the Billboard chart, and he's real close. If people go and buy the record instead of like just streaming it, support the artists in this era here. People ain't doing, live shows and stuff and selling tickets right now. So spend that $10, go get the record. Go put that money in there and help Skypp get on the Billboard chart this time. I mean, we're top 15 in iTunes. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, sir.
And
that's number 13 right now.
Number 13. That's spectacular. And hopefully by Sunday you'll be right up in the top 5. Maybe
hopefully, man.
By the time this comes out.
Hey, the sooner the better. That the sales decline as the days go. So hopefully the sooner the better, man. We can reach the top 10 is my goal, but hey, top 5 would be miraculous.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this is the record to do it. I think it's your best record yet. I don't know.
Appreciate that, man. That's a statement, man. You're making a statement right there, Joe.
I do. I love it. I listened to it 3 times today, and
that's nice. Yeah,
that's a lot. I don't usually get that caught up, but I kind of listened to the start to finish. While I was doing some stuff on the computer, and I had my beats. On. You know. Because we couldn't just use AirPods with this. I mean, you got to hear that full thing.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun. But
that's appreciated, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it that much.
Oh yeah, it's really good, man. But thanks for doing the show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again, man. I'm looking forward to the next time, man. Any way I can return the support to you or any kind of love, just let me know, man. All you got to do is say the word, and I got you.
Moonshine in Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved. The producer for today's show was Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double was Brent Lee Smith. On cameras and all sorts of other things, Bailey Shelton. And our staff guru is Brent Schlemmer. Join us each Sunday for new episodes right here with Moonshine and Music.